Cyclist 1222 here, back out at my local park. I wanted to show you this knife I picked up recently from Amazon. I kind of like it. This is the Colt CT 340, and this is sold as a hunting knife. Comes with a nice leather sheath. Sold as a hunting knife, but I kind of like the look of it as a bushcraft knife. It kind of has that old world style look to it. Looks like a a knifesmith that made it over an anvil by hand a couple hundred years ago. Being an inexpensive knife made in China, it kind of has that rough look to it. It's not perfect. I kind of like that. I think it adds character to a knife. It is 440C steel. The wooden handle is very heavily lacquered. It's got a nice finish on there. It's smooth. It's a full tang. As you can see, it's a full tang all the way around the handle, which I like, and it's fairly thick. I don't know the measurement of the thickness. I didn't measure it. The blade is more than 4 inches long. The cutting edge is about 4 inches, so you got a decent amount of blade there for a bushcraft knife. It is a slight hollow grind, but it's a strong edge. It does have a clip. The point is clipped. It's not dropped, but it is clipped. It has a nice Damascus style etching on there, on that part, on the ricasso and the back of the blade, which kind of adds a nice look to it. Seeing that it is made in China, it does have CT 340 stamped there for Colt, and on the other side it's got some scrolling on there. It's got the Colt emblem embedded in the handle, and then it says Colt again on the knife blade, and it has a little Colt emblem, the horse there again. A little bit much, a little bit busy looking, but that's okay. For the money, I got this for about $27 delivered from Amazon. And it's a nice, meaty, hefty little knife. I like the feel of it. It's very comfortable in the hand. It's got a little bit of a thumb ramp there to it, so if you wanted to rest your thumb on there, you could. Works great for bushcraft. You can get a good hold of it, put your thumb on the back, on that section of the back of the blade. You've got plenty of meat there to do that, and you can do lots of bushcrafting with this knife. Haven't used it a lot yet, but I've used it some. Got a decent edge on there. I had to work it a little bit. What I found in my short experience with knives and sharpening them and edges, I like a steeper edge for bushcraft. I like to get it under 20 degrees, sometimes even closer to 15 degrees. I find that it's just easier to keep it sharp. It cuts better. And if it's for a bushcraft knife and you're not using it for batoning or chopping or heavy work, an angle less than 20 degrees, I think it just works out better. It's just easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, and it cuts a lot better. It's a nice looking knife. For 27 bucks, I don't think you can go wrong. The sheath is fantastic. Kind of looks like a cowboy sheath, doesn't it? It says Colt on there. It has the Colt emblem on the sheath. It's got a design pattern on the sheath. Very well made, very well stitched. Does have a drain hole at the bottom. Belt loop. Smells like leather. It's even got that squeaky leather sound. I love that. I don't know why it is, but I just like the leather. So it comes with a nice sheath. Stays in there very well. Not going to come out at all. Very solid retention in your leather sheath. Got the brass pin in the lanyard hole, held on with brass pins. The wooden handles are held on with brass pins. They're polished, sanded and polished. Looks pretty nice. It's not a zero tolerance knife by any means, but I think for the money it's a great deal. Good solid performer so far. I've been practicing my knife sharpening. I'm not a good knife sharpener. I kind of suck at it, but I've been trying to learn and trying to come up with some simple techniques, and I found that a couple of things I like. I like a diamond rod. I like a ceramic rod, which I have here. This is the Tri-Seps ceramic rod. This is actually for serrated edge knives because it's got different angles on it. This is made by Gatco, and it actually comes with a rubber foot that goes on this end too. I took it off. I don't like to use it, and I'll show you why. But the rubber foot has different angles on it, and you're supposed to put it on the surface, and the flat rubber spot will hold it on the right angle, and then you rub your knife down to it. I don't use it that way. I think that's kind of ridiculous because you can't hold the rubber steady. It kind of moves like that. And I also like this Smith's Pocket Pal. I don't know if you've ever used this, but this thing is pretty fantastic. I've used the ceramic cutting part of this a little bit too hard, put too much pressure on it, and kind of started to flatten it out a little bit. But the key to that ceramic one is after you get a rough edge done with the carbide side or however you do it, the ceramic one is just for the light, going over it lightly and a light touch up. And so I like to use these kind of tools, simple. I'm not good with the stone. I can use a stone, but I wanted to come up with the way on how I could maintain an edge on my knives without having to take a stone with you and having to use oil. And these, the ceramic sharpeners, you can just wash them. You can use them with water. Actually, the water will clean them off and keep them working, keep them cutting your blades just fine. You don't need oil. And I've been using this knife today. I've just been whittling. I've been whittling on this stick here today, a little piece of hardwood, and kind of whittled through a knot. Took a knot off of it, and been doing various and different things. This is the Ozark Trail Walmart knife, $8, and I don't know what kind of steel is on this knife, but it's performed fantastically. I've done a lot of things with this knife. I've been chopping at branches with it, not that it's a chopper, but just to test the durability of the blade. And the blade may be a 420 high carbon, it could be a 440A, I'm not sure what it is. It didn't say, it just says stainless steel. But I've been doing various things with it, and this blade stays remarkably sharp. And I just kind of, once you get an edge on there, I just kind of touch it up with my ceramic rod. But let's check it out. This is an old moist piece of paper I've had in my pack here, and this thing, look at that. That's an $8 knife from Walmart. And what I do to touch up the edge, if you use this ceramic rod, I just simply run it across, and the key is very lightly. The ceramic kind of polishes the edge. It gives it a nice polish, which enables it to cut paper like that. And I just use it very simply and very lightly, and just kind of run it right over the edge. Not trying to change the shape of the edge at this point, just cleaning it up a little bit. Very easy, ever so lightly. And that's all I do to maintain the edge, and it keeps it nice and sharp. And the edge on this knife, on this Ozark Trail knife from Walmart, $8, it stays pretty sharp for quite a while. So, in learning a simple, easy way without having to carry a stone and oil to keep my blades sharp when I'm using them in the field, I kind of like this rod. It's got the different angles on it, the different size corners for your serrations if you have a serrated knife. It even has a crevice there to sharpen fish hooks, or to sharpen awls or scribes or things like that, things that just have a point on it. So you can use it for multiple things. The Smith's Pocket Pal fantastic. It has a little diamond rod on there. If you booger up the edge of your blade, I'll use the diamond rod. I'll try to smooth out the you know, the chips or the rust spots, or if it rolls over a little bit, try to straighten that out, and then I'll go ahead and finish it up with the Tri-Seps ceramic serrated edge sharpener, and that seems to do the job. The trick is just nice and easy. Again, you're not putting a lot of pressure. You're just maintaining that edge, keeping it polished, and that's really what keeps it sharp. Pretty simple. You don't have to take a stone with you and back and forth on a stone, and I like stones, and stones work great, but this is just a simple, inexpensive, easy, clean way to do it. Okay, so this is Cyclist 1222. We'll talk to you next time. Out.